Well, Barack Obama has used his final foreign tour before he leaves office to warn against what is called a rise in crude nationalism in the world. The US president is in Greece, where there have been violent protests against his visit, as Greg Dawson now reports.
This was hardly the warm welcome Greece had in mind for President Obama. Protests and petrol bombs filled the streets of Athens, with an estimated 3,000 people demonstrating against the visit. The list of grievances include America's stance on the war in Syria and the election of Donald Trump. Barack Obama's first trip to Greece marks the beginning of his final foreign tour as president. And in the city considered the birthplace of democracy, he inevitably faced questions about his own country's recent vote.
I was surprised by the election results, and I've said so.
The president was keen to avoid giving any further opinions on his successor, but did address his wider concern about the rise in populism in several countries.
We are going to have to guard against a rise in a crude sort of nationalism or ethnic identity or tribalism that is built around an us and a them.
The Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, who himself came to power as the leader of a populist movement, also said little about Donald Trump, other than Greece and the United States would continue to work together on the basis of common values. After the questions, another chance for Barack Obama to enjoy the choreography of a state dinner. But there won't be many more. On Wednesday, he flies to Germany, his final European stop as US president. Greg Dawson, BBC News.
Police in Athens have used tear gas on demonstrators protesting against the visit of US President Barack Obama. The outgoing leaders bidding to reassure Greece of Washington's commitment to its NATO ally.
We are deeply grateful for our alliance with the Greek people. I think that we have inspired each other to reach for independence, stood in solidarity during war and peace. In good times and in bad, including these very difficult years for the Greek people. And tonight I want you to know that as you work to move your country forward, you will always have the support and friendship of the United States. We have an extraordinary Greek-American community that is very excited about this visit.
And after Greece, Barack Obama heads to another NATO state, that of Germany. His last foreign tour aims to deliver a message of confidence in transatlantic ties ahead of Donald Trump moving into the White House. RT's Caleb Mopan reports.
The North Atlantic Treaty Organization has long been an almost unquestioned aspect of U.S. foreign policy. The new president-elect, Donald Trump, has indicated that this could soon change.
Either they pay up, including for past deficiencies, or they have to get out. And if it breaks up NATO, it breaks up NATO.
Barack Obama has been busy reassuring the world that Donald Trump is committed to protecting Europe as he prepares to leave office.
In my conversation with the president-elect, he expressed a great interest in maintaining our core strategic relationships. And so one of the messages I will be able to deliver is his commitment to NATO.
But during the campaign season, Donald Trump played down Washington's need to serve as the world's peacekeeper, instead focusing on domestic issues.
So you're really suggesting the United States should decrease its role in NATO?
Not decrease its role, but certainly decrease the kind of spending. We are spending a tremendous amount in NATO, and other people proportionately less. No good. But the kind of money, look, we owe $19 trillion. We can't afford to do all of this anymore.
NATO has set a defense spending target for its member states at 2% GDP. Only 4 NATO members actually pay this amount. Meanwhile, the United States pays 3.5% of its GDP on defense, with the largest military budget on Earth. The message of Trump's campaign has been no more freeloading. Countries like Germany, France, and Latvia need to start paying their fair share and not expecting the USA to just pick up the tab.
I haven't given lots of thought to NATO, but two things. Number one, the 28 countries of NATO, many of them aren't paying their fair share. They do not focus on terror.
While Obama has been reassuring his European allies, they simply don't seem convinced, leaving those across the Atlantic fearing another period of U.S. isolationism.
It's true the election of Donald Trump risks upsetting the balance between the two continents. The transatlantic alliance and NATO alliance is called into question.
I think we have to prepare for the fact that American foreign policy will be less predictable in the future.
This American election marks the beginning of a period of uncertainty. Certain positions taken by Donald Trump during the American campaign must be challenged.
We are at the same time aware of the new challenges that these results bring. One of them is in this moment of uncertainty over the future of our transatlantic relations.
The United States has paid for a disproportionately large percentage of NATO's budget. Trump has been saying what a lot of people have been saying is why should the United States be paying so much for the defense of wealthy countries? He's not necessarily saying, oh, we should leave NATO. He's just saying that the other parties should pay more of their share, though he has threatened to not live up to NATO commitments or even pull off if they refuse to do so.
So is the United States going to completely alter the way it cooperates with the NATO alliance? The Donald is often described as completely unpredictable. But then again, so are world events. The first few months of the new administration have the potential to completely reset East-West relations. Many are nervous, but many are also hopeful. Caleb, RT, New York.